Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Explicit FPV with your knucklehead Chris here. Gonna do a couple updates and goods and bads and all that fun for you guys. It's been a while since I've done a sit-down rant, any of that fun shit. Life's been a little different, so I'll just get into it. You guys have followed me through the Runt build. This here is the Runt. It is a 1S, 20,000 kV motor, little tiny thing. Tomo Quad's Evo, Baby Evo 69 frame. Love the frame. So pros are that it's super duper light. It seems very durable. Learning to talk today. Uses plastic standoffs and plastic screws. I swapped out most of course the cats can jump up. There's the tail. Every video she's got to come up here. It's a woman thing. They love to bother you. Anyway, the screws are plastic, and after a couple test fits and this and that, in and out, it starts to tweak the little insert for the Phillips head. So, where the fuck is my Red Bull? I'd recommend swapping them. The stack fits in there, nice and tight like a tiger. Yes, like a thinner tight pants. But it fits good. The camera that I use, which I said was in the last video because I wasn't prepared to do a video, I just kind of sprung on and did it. I got from Amazon for like 12 bucks or whatever the hell it was, and I spoke highly of the fact that it actually has a plug so you can remove. So if you need to remove the stack and work on it and do whatever, you don't have to remove the freaking camera. 800 TVL. The thing is super crisp. Where is my tiny batteries here? So I was going to assumingly try flying on these things, and after dialing it in the last half hour, these guys get warm. I love these batteries, so I'm not going to talk shit about them, but they're not enough. The C rating is a little low for the brushless motors, and it just doesn't have the milliamp. So I'm going with like a G&B 500 or 550 milliamp. The battery will be a little bit bigger, but they're considerably light for their size, so I should still get about a 3.5-4 minute flight with them. I did my pop test the other day, and it was a funny pop test because it popped the prop right off. It was pretty cool. I was showing the guys in Patriot Blades, and they're like, oh, check it out. Ping! There it goes, right to the ground. My buddy Mike, the batteries we use at his house, the Beta FPV ones suck shit. The motors just suck the life right out of them. Or he just hadn't charged them in a long time, so they just didn't have any oomph. But it popped. It got up in the air. I had ordered for this originally the Longbow DSMX or DSM receiver for it, and I think it's in this pile of stuff that I use. Let me see if I can find it while looking through the camera. There it is. And maybe it's just me being uneducated, not knowing how to use it, but you'd figure when it powers on, it would have a little light, and it has an orange light. It flashes for 1 second. I watched a couple of videos how to go in and turn it on and put it in program mode and all that shit, but I could not get this to stay on. And it's obviously 3 simple wires, and I know what the fuck I'm doing enough because I put in the bigger serial-based receiver, whatever the hell it is, the one I put in. I won't even show you that. I shouldn't have done that. But I took the one out of my Storm up there just to throw this thing in so I could get it going, and it works. So I don't know if this is defective or you need to do some magical coding shit in the CLI and Betaflight to get it, but whatever. It's there. Right. So I put the bigger, I think it's the JST 2.0 or PH 2.0, the power whoop connector on it. I'm obsessed with LEDs, as you know, so I took the one off of the Fly Egg. So you got one that will switch from blue to green meaning go, and you know me in green, and then I got one flashing, so it flashes pretty cool. Not much else. I got to start doing some flight footage. The battery should be here tomorrow, so I can get outside and at least do a acro flight with it and see how it is. I did a quick tune with it, just farting around in the house and stuff, and as soon as I'm gonna go fly downstairs, it seems stable. The battery died just above the wife and kid too. That would have been enough. That would have been like hit 15 for them. But so yeah, stay tuned for this guy. This is the Runt. Again, Baby Evo 69 millimeter frame from Tomo Quads. I highly recommend if you're doing a build. And it takes the tiny, let's see, you can see the size of it, the freaking flight controller for it, and then the ESC thing here, it's a mini, I think they call it the teeny 1S F4 board. There's the, finally got it after a million years. is all those parts. I think I'm sending these to Space FPV. He may be building something, so we'll see. Where did I put the other one? So we'll put those up here. And onto my exciting build that I've been working on. This is Evo, or Evolution. I won't get into all the spiel about that. If you guys are interested, you can check out the other video. I spent a ridiculous amount of time being OCD as shit and just literally taking my time putting this together yesterday. So I want to say like 5 hours. I know that sounds absurd, but the components were decently packed in there, and I wanted to hide the wires the best I can. You see just a touch of wires coming from the upside down receiver and stuff. I mean, it's pretty clean. I'm very, very impressed with it. I took my time with the soldering. I wish I saved the bit. I had some issues with soldering because the bit wasn't small. It wasn't a point. It was a flat pile of shit. So I had some missolders. I had to keep screwing with her, dropping solder down on pads that it didn't belong to. But I got it done, and I was very excited. I went in after I was done, and I put it onto Betaflight. And first thing I do is check everything is there, reset, and then go into the motor tabs to make sure all the motors spin. And if you see here, this guy is no longer connected. And did the wires because the ESC on motor 4 is not spinning the motor. I checked that by putting a different motor off to the side but attached to it to see if it would spin, and it did not spin. So for whatever reason, something is bad. I can only get so mad. I had a great time building this thing. It's going to be a freaking rocket ship. I learned a lot while doing it, and I think this one definitely stands out. So I have to wait a couple more days and then take this thing apart and then get it all back together. And I'm going to test it before I completely put it together, unlike this time. And then we'll see how we do. If you didn't watch any of the other videos, obviously I got the crazy ass Lumineer. What are they? 2450 kV, 2206s, I believe. Let me see if it says on there. Let's see here. These motors are so beautiful. Is it going to focus, or I got to do it? There we go. For a half a second. Let me see if I put my hand up if it does it. Man, this thing's about as slow as I am this morning. Afternoon, whatever the fuck time it is. I'm going to keep doing it until it gets it. I don't give a shit. Forget it. Fuck it. Shout out to Space FPV. He sent me this beautiful wire loom that goes absolutely amazing with it. I hesitated at first because I'm like, man, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but I came up with a neat little trick to do it. The wires are twisted really cool inside and then heat shrinked on either end, so this thing ain't going anywhere. And I got my soldered joints there for the motors. You can see actually the purple, that's not reflection, that's actually the color coming from there, and then it kind of changes, but then you get the glare from the actual paint. I think that came out super badass. Super clean. You got the receiver here. This one is still in its shell versus the one that's on the baby Evo. The antennas, I went with the Buttercutter props. I keep going back and forth. Do I want the purple on front, back, diagonal to really accent these motors? And I went with the green nut on the top just to pull colors together. And I think the most stupid thing that I've been obsessing about is the post. I got 3 different colors because I wanted to try to accent these motors all the way through. And I keep moving them back and forth, trying to figure out where I like them and stuff. And somebody's like, why don't you just put all one color on one side or zigzag them all the way across so they're different everywhere? So for now, it's this way. And I love how the green and the blue pop here. And then depending on where you look, you get the green, the blue. Obviously, you get the props. So I am absolutely in love with this thing. It's the, what the hell is it? The Formula 220 frame from Space One FPV. I spoke about it when I did an earlier review on it, I believe, and this frame is solid. Killer 4mm thick bottom plate. I don't know what that is. It's going to be 1 or 2 on the top, and then I swapped out, obviously, that. I got the Cadex SD one or something like that. All I did was power it up and obviously make sure that it's transmitting. That worked, and they said 3 out of the 4 motors spin, and I wired them actually in the right orientation because you got to kind of guess and then flip it and be heli, but I got those 3 right. So kudos to that. The Pagoda antenna, bent all kinds of fun just to kind of accent the craziness of the frame. Nothing exciting. There's going to be an LED. Whoop, go up a little bit. There's going to be an LED across the back just for, line of sight. And again, I always do, it's another 4, one like the one I put on the Catalyst So you have two that are kind of going with throttle that will change color the whole time, and then one lets you know what mode you're in and stuff. Something simple, but it gives you a little bit more fun to the quad with the LED, and especially if you let somebody else fly it. I do the same with all my quads. So like I said, blue being that it's in stationary armed, excuse me, disarmed, and then green mean go, green mean armed, so you know you're ready to fly. We'll see. I may change my mind. I always do, but that's where I'm at. So, my second kick-ass build, I'm very, very, very proud of, and I think it looks great. I think it's going to fly great. Unfortunately, a little setback with the all-in-one Cicada. You can only get so mad. You just learn from it. It taught me more, practicing soldering, etc. So I will take what I learned from it, and then I will move on to the next one, and hopefully we won't have this problem. And maybe there's a way to get about it, testing it first, or who knows. I should have, but I'm still new into this, so I'm learning as I'm going and take it as more experience. So while I still got a little bit of sunlight left, I'm gonna charge up some batteries and stuff, and I'll go fly something. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
Two.